Hi, good morning. My name is Freddy. I'm going to demonstrate the XML import and export functionality of Works3 today. Yes, I know I'm due for the PX and GX developer format import. I'm still working on the videos for that. Those will come out this week. I found a couple of solutions for explaining how to do the import on that. Yeah, let's play with the XML export and import functionality of a project in GXWorks. I'm going to do it very basic to show you what you can do, and quite frankly, if you're not familiar, if you don't feel comfortable playing with a lot of text files, I recommend don't do it like that. But for people that is quite fluent in playing with XML, you can do a lot of work very quickly in a short space of time when you understand how to do that. So thanks again for joining us today here. Yeah, this will be a series of videos that we create to assist you when you work with GXWorks3. Most of the time, we're not always familiar with some of the tools and functions. Maybe we might be a bit afraid to work with some of the tools. Yeah, in this case, you don't really have to feel that afraid. You are converting data from one to another, and feel free to go and have a look at some of the functions that I'm going to show you, and get yourself familiar with some of the functionality. Okay, I'm going to get going with my demonstration. Okay, there's GXWorks3. I noted that there's a new version of GXWorks3. You can feel free to download it and install it. I'm still going to continue working with the version that I'm presenting on, which is version 1.060N. I think the new one is 6.3 or 6.2 if I'm not mistaken. Go and have a look at the new functionality. Also read the document relating the difference and changes on the product to get yourself familiar. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to create a function like an AND block, or it could be absolutely anything. Let's make use of a move. A move is more familiar to most people anyways in function block diagrams, or ladder, exactly the same thing will apply then. So in my move I can decide to give myself a bit that's going to enable my move. In this case I'll use M0 to enable my move, and I can use a value that I would like to move, a device. Let's say device 10. I'd like to move to the output of my move block to device 20 for the sake of it. Okay, and that's basically my little program that I've written. I can convert my program. You guys should feel free to ask questions on the fly. I am keeping an eye open on your feedback. If you got any questions, you're welcome. Keep it very informal. I'll get back to you as soon as I see you have a question for me. Okay. So we've converted our program. We can look at the output of the program. I don't see any errors or warnings, and this is the basic information of what has happened with the program. Those are the results. Okay, and we're going to export this now as an XML. Okay, take note of the image that we look at here. I'm going to show you in the XML file what happens with all the specific locations of each item that you see in this window, because we can specify exactly where we want what information to be displayed when we bring the XML file back into GXWorks. Okay? So I'm going to say save other file format, and the only one that's available there is XML format. Okay, so we're going to use the next step will be that open other XML format once I have saved the XML format. Okay, so the moment I've saved the XML format, we're going to generate the XML file that we can manipulate and then bring it back in. So if I want to create a lot of these devices very quickly, I can literally just go and edit my XML file and generate a massive big program very quickly, but you need to be aware of the risks that you're dealing with. Okay, so save other XML format, other data XML format. I'm just going to leave it here in a folder called new folder, and XML demo. I'll call my XML file XML demo, and I save it. And I can use a text editor to go and open that file. And there's my XML demo. And that's how the XML file look like. I recommend strongly do not play with the header of the file and leave it as is. This is your function block content and your structured functions. Your SFC code will be listed over here, and your function block will be listed over there. Okay. But for today, I'm just going to handle this little program here, and that will be listed under pause in our XML. Sorry, I need to zoom in a little bit there. Okay, so you can see that. So we will, our program is listed under the heading pause, and you'll find all the information that we see in GXWorks detailed in the list, in the XML list as we go down the file. It's not very big, it's not a lot of information, but when you start doing complicated stuff, then this list becomes quite long and extensive, because the XML file represents the code graphically in the function block diagram. So for every line and connection that you put down, there's an entry being made in the XML file then, and you need to be aware of that. Don't just put extra lines in and be decorative about your lines. You're going to make yourself a lot of work if you want to play with XMLs that way. But to keep it very simple, keep your lines short, straight to the point, and then you'll have a pleasure extending your stuff. So I'm going to just reflect back again. So where will I find M0 now? I think I have seen the move block, but let's go and have a look and see where's M0 in the XML file. M0, we can go and find it. Okay, so in the text file or the XML file, I note that M0 is located under my expression. Okay, and there's my D10 that I specified as well, and I should see my D20 as well. There we go. There's my D20 as well. Okay, now take note that every one of them got a position. It's a X and a Y position in the XML format. Now, if you want to create additional variables, you can literally just insert a new variable and give it a height, width, location. So if you edit these files in bulk, again, this it's meant for more advanced work where you have a lot of stuff that you want to do very quickly. You can come and play inside your XML file and express the data in a different way. I'm gonna just do a change in the program to show you where the changes has taken place, so that you can go and recreate new data in the XML file later on. Okay. So for instance, if I just relocate my M0, what I want you to note is the connection here in the XML file. We're gonna go a little bit up and we'll find our connections. Okay, so there's my connection for M0. Okay, so you'll see the moment I move any of these, you'll find more connections and positions, because a line got a start and an end point. So the more lines you put in here, the more positions will be specified to make your connection between your variable and your function block. Okay, so I'm gonna just save that. Oh, you don't specifically have to save the project. I mean, what you see on the screen, that will be exported. Okay, it's a good idea to save your work, obviously. So I'm going to save this one. Take note of the message that you see there. I'm going to do that again. Save our XML file format. Again, do you want to export the powers, local labels, and bodies? Okay. So everything in your program will be exported. So nice to go and manipulate your global labels as well, and your local labels, and then obviously the bodies. Okay, yes, I want to export that as a second file. I'll call that 02 demo 02, just so that we can see the difference between the two files. And then when I'm done with this, we're going to bring it back into GXWorks. Okay, there's my demo number 2, and now we can see what is the difference between these two files. Take note of the extra points that was created, okay, for that extra line. The extra line that came in was over there, and we can compare it with the original. Okay, that was 3130 and 2930. And if I come here again, 3130 has moved on to there. Yeah, because I've moved up, I moved the variable up. You'll see the number of the position obviously has changed. I mean, this is now right in the corner there. That position there and this position here is then obviously noted in the XML. Okay, so I'm just going a little bit in detail on this, so just to show you where the information has changed, and then obviously we can go and have a look at M0. There's M0. M0 has now moved to 1612, X16 and Y12, and it used to be at 1624. Okay, so I can now literally just go and change the position of M0 and place it maybe somewhere else, like 1634, and then we can see I'm going to save that as my XML file, and then let's go and import my change that I made there. So I just made that one single change there. So what I've physically basically done is I've taken that and I've moved it down like this, but I did not include my link. Okay, so I'm gonna go and open other file format, XML, and the demo file was the one that I've modified. Let's just confirm. Yep, that was the demo file. Just for information. Okay, that's definitely the demo file that I've changed there. And we bring the demo file in. Let's see what happens. On a live open project, GXWorks is going to ask me, what do I want to do? Do I want to replace the existing project, or do I want to add to this project? So let's add that information to this project. And then GXWorks will ask me to specify what I would like to do. So in this case, is the object name main already exists. So again, if I go to my XML file, I can manipulate that by finding the object main. So I can give it my own name as well. On the next exercise, I'll show you how that's done. Now I'm going to just say add that to my existing program. GXWorks will automatically rename that file for me, or that workspace. And it also found a duplicate of globals, so GXWorks will again add my imported data for me and renamed it automatically according to what it has found in the XML file. And there's my XML file completed. So it has imported the locals, the program body, and additional globals if I had any in there. So I can go and have a look and see where's my globals. And there's all my global variables. If we add a variable, then you can go and see your variable will fall into the global variable list over here. Okay, so all your global variables will be listed over here, and you can very easily go and manipulate your global variables. And you quite frankly just have to import your global variables or your local variables, and you don't have to go through the whole thing. I'm just going a bit extreme here to show you what can actually be done. Now let's go and have a look at the program, what has happened. Wow, GXWorks has seen that there was a connection between the enable and the M0 in the XML file, and GXWorks just put that connection back in there for us. So we didn't even have to worry about that. And that is basically the location that I specified in the XML file for M0, remember? Let's just go and have a look and see where is my M0. Okay, so I decided to put it at 34, and it used to be 24. Okay, so when it's in line there, that location was 24, and I've asked it to move it 10 down for me, and that is the location there. I think it's pretty handy to be able to know how to manipulate the information in your program. But I think the most handiest part of this whole exercise will be dealing with labels. when you start manipulating your global labels, adding labels to GXWorks, I'm just going to do a label here called test label with its data type called, let's say, a bit, and I give it a description, in this case English language description, test label description, okay, and I can now literally just go and export or save this other file format as XML, and I'm going to call this demo number 3. Okay, now remember, I've now exported all of this information, including the second program as well, which you will find in that XML file. And let's go and have a look inside that XML file, how the data represents itself in the globals. Okay. Let's find the globals. Any feedback in the meantime? You guys got any questions? Please feel free. Okay, so I've added a variable in here called test label. Okay, oopsie. So there's my test label, and the data type is Boolean. Data type is a Boolean, and the variable value, the variable line number is on 1, the comment number is 1, and we can go and see. There's my description and a couple of other bits of information. So in any case, there's the start of my global and there's the end of my global. Okay, my global variables start over here and it ends over here. So if you've got a lot of globals and you quickly want to go and manipulate those globals, and maybe you want to just update your comments, or you want to add a new language to your comments, you can literally just export all your global variables, convert this to either an XML file, or do a logical way of finding and replacing information, because every single one is specified exactly of where it is located. So this is number 1. That will be the very first variable in the global variables. Okay, and that will be the column of where that information is specified in as the description for this label. Okay, I think, I don't know, have you found this valuable so far? I don't see any feedback or detail. Can you give me some question or some of your opinions on what you think about this function? Anyone there with a question, please feel free. Is my comments working? Hello? Let's say something. Yep, okay, comments is working fine. Okay, so please feel free to go and venture in there if you would like to play a bit with more in-depth ways of manipulating data in GXWorks. So I think from an engineering point of view, you can find this tool quite handy to be able to do a huge manipulation in a short space of time in your project. Maybe it's a simple spelling mistake that you want to correct or throughout your project, and yeah, just export it, or you want to add an additional language. You can do all of that. You can still do manually by just edit using the editing tools in GXWorks. I mean, I'm just showing you additional ways of dealing with a large amount of data in a different way. It's not that you have to use it this way. Okay. So go and visit our website. See what we've got available for you guys regarding information. Visit our knowledge base. We regularly update our knowledge base. Under support, you'll go to the Adroit website, Adroit support forum, and then obviously the Mitsubishi support forum, where you can find a lot of examples of example code. And feel free to leave me some information, and I'll get you up to date as soon as I can. And please don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon, and you'll be notified on the next videos that we got available for you guys. And we like to keep the community active, and your feedback is most valuable. And hope to see you soon next time. Stay safe. Thank you for attending.